Hope and fear. Now, when you hear those two things, you don't think about the same emotion. And yet, that's exactly the emotion that everybody's walking around with today. Everybody hopes things will go back to normal. They hope they don't get sick. They hope their loved ones stay healthy. But at the same time, they're literally wearing their fear on their face. Now, of course, we have to follow the rules, right? And that's an entirely different question. Can we follow the rules without feeling somewhat subdued, somehow less than our own selves, just by following rules that someone else has put into place? So we're hopeful and fearful at the same exact time. And so I wonder, what's going on inside of our bodies with those emotions rampant? What hormones are being put out? What chemicals are being released inside of our own bodies that more than likely are going to actually make us more susceptible to the one thing that we fear the most? So what can we do if we recognize that we have this fear and hope inside of us at all times now? How can we mitigate this? Well, a simple change of mindset might work. The mask, for instance. I know personally for me, I only put it on the second I'm in a store where the law requires me, and take it off as soon as I'm outside. That's my personal preference. But I see others wearing it completely outside, driving in their cars, wearing the mask. I see people criticizing those who are driving in the car wearing the mask, and well, there's two sides to that coin, because yes, they are illustrating fear, but if the mask makes them feel more secure, then they're going to be healthier. But if you are someone who realizes the world is changing in front of our eyes and doesn't really feel like wearing this mask, but we have to, really would prefer to be able to have all of the freedoms afforded to us and move about freely, but we can't. You're going to need to change your mindset just a little bit. Because for those of us who are not in fear of this virus, we are experiencing anger and distrust and simply just being upset at the way it's being handled. And the only way to alleviate these emotions and to stop the flood of hormones that your body is going to constantly create when you have these emotions constantly is to turn to the one source that will never let you down. The one source that is always there for you, who knows your deepest inner thoughts, and who is there to ensure that when you need them the most, they come around and help you solve whatever problem it is that you present. And that person, that being, that thing, is you. All of the answers are inside of yourself. And during this time when we're simply stuck at home, now is the time. You have the time now to look inside, to do the deep work that you say you never had time to do before, to ask yourself the true questions and get down to the deepest of the deep, for your own self, not for what other people want. Somebody else might think you need to sort through, but for your own self. And as you get deeper into your own spirit and closer with your own spirit, that fear will fall away. It will turn to simple acceptance. You will begin to realize that, for lack of a better phrase, we're all just in a movie, playing our part. And once you realize that once we're born, we're going to die. There's nothing to fear. As soon as we come out of the womb, we're dying. We've begun to die. There's nothing to be afraid of with that. It's simply our design. It's simply nature. And so, do not be fearful of death. Do not be fearful of what those who are in positions of authority over us may try to force us to do, or cajole us to do, or what societal pressures might try to force upon us as well. But just know that regardless of what happens, they cannot take you away from you. Hold yourself as your security. Hold yourself as your barometer of how you feel. Do you feel good inside, all the way down? Once you get to that point, you realize the external forces have no power over you anymore. They just don't. So just trust in yourself. Just trust in your own spirit. And the fear will fall away.